Alright, so this post is difficult for a lot of reasons. There's a lot of details in it, and a national tragedy of sorts has happened, and that has sparked a national debate. And I was gonna start off, not this video, but I was gonna post like last week sometime, because Bob Costas used the murder of Kassandra Perkins as a soapbox of sorts to espouse his views on the Second Amendment, which is the right to bear arms. And he is anti-Second Amendment, or at least a modified version of being anti-Second Amendment. He actually said that at one point that you shouldn't be able to own a gun until you're 30 years old and things of that nature. So what Bob Costas is saying, and a lot of other people are saying, with gun legislation or stricter gun laws, and hey, turn in your guns, or you shouldn't have this type of gun, or all sorts of variations of that same argument. I guess the point of contention that I have with that is that people are blaming inanimate objects for human beings' actions, and I don't like that for two reasons. One, because it's fucking ridiculous. Two, in a sense, it's negating responsibility from the person that pulls the trigger. In a sense, like, to a degree. And any responsibility you take away from the cat that pulled the trigger, I don't like, because he chose to pull the trigger. A bit of a history background lesson for the Second Amendment. It was put into our rights for two reasons. One was to be able to arm our citizens against a government that is getting too big and too powerful and too bullyish, right? And the second reason to have armed citizens is it slows down any other foreign country's desire to want to invade us on our domestic land here, and then that will kind of skew other countries. So it's two-part. And I guess, like, my view on a lot of subjects, you may not hear in mass media, and you may not hear behind every pulpit, but that in part, in a small part, that's why I'm doing this YouTube page. But I also feel like something that I know to a certainty is that a one world government is coming. And by me saying that, it puts me into a branch of people that a lot of people feel comfortable labeling me as a conspiracy theorist. And typically, and you may find this true and from your experiences with people that are called conspiracy theorists, is that if somebody's labeled that, typically what that means is they have a mistrust for, like, mass media, right, and the government. They don't buy all of this shit that is shoveled to them. And two, they're more well studied, they're more well versed on a subject than you are, depending on whatever the conspiracy is, right? Whether it be fluoride in the water, chemtrails, whatever it is, whatever people are talking about. More than likely, maybe they've done some more study. And then where most people diverge on the path is, you eat the meat and you throw away the bones. And I think a lot of people just, they take everything in and they believe everything that is anti-establishment, and then some people believe everything that is CNN and Fox News, and then you have a variation of or a big cross ground of people that choose from different sources, choose what they're going to believe. So with my knowledge, and I go by scripture, prophecy, and current events and experience, and I funnel all those together, and I get a very pure drop of there is a one world government coming. Like scripture talks about it. To me, that's like the end all be all. But history teaches you that, and current events further lead you there. And Americans not having guns is one more step, one more notch in the belt of things that must be done in order to more conveniently convey a new world order, or more conveniently establish a new world order, or a one world government. And the Antichrist is going to sit on the throne of that. But then I just completely branched myself out as a fundamentalist and whatever else you want to label me. But that's my thought. Like, in a nutshell, that's kind of my thought. So, anyways, back to the subject. Those are the two reasons that the citizens are allowed to own guns, is to protect themselves from the government and to protect our nation, our homeland, from invasion of other people. So I was going to go on about how Bob Costas' view is ridiculously skewed, and it shows that he doesn't care enough to consider the lives of most people, of most normal citizens here in America. Because, you know, he's like, y'all shouldn't own guns, or at least until you're 30, right? Something like that. But I bet his security detail, I bet they carry guns, right? And then so now, like on a broader scale, like he's a microcosm of a bigger problem, because the macro problem, right, our government, in a sense, I'm not saying the government is completely horribly corrupt and never does anything right, but I'm just along this thread of this subject. Our government is now saying, hey, we need more regulations, right? And it's like these people, they're trying to censor, guns, and they're trying to like limit what type of gun you can get, and all of that. And then I was going to talk about bigger government, and I was going to use Mayor Bloomberg as an embarrassing example of what has happened to New York, because of New York's government having to spend a lot of money on diabetic issues and cardiac issues. They've limited or they've banned sugary drinks over 16 ounces. So if you want a Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, Coke, anything like that, Sprite, something like that, over 16 ounces, while in the city of New York, damn that, not gonna be able to. Like, that's a fact. And then, like, the fact that New York has been castrated to the point of asking permission to buy a 16-ounce drink, or you know, a drink over 16 ounces that has a lot of sugar in it. Like, these are grown men asking for permission. Hey, Mayor Bloomberg, I really, you know, could you please see this petition? I think that we should be allowed to drink sugary drinks. And I don't know, like maybe the answer is to not make drinks illegal. Maybe the answer is to not pay for people that lean on the system when they are the ones that put themselves in a harmful position. They're the ones that put themselves in the position that's like, you know, that they have poor health. And if they, like, they know that when they started getting fat, they knew it. And if they knew that they weren't going to be able to care for themselves, then that's something that, like, they shouldn't allow themselves, as far as, I'm sorry, excuse me, hold on. That's not gonna work. That'll do it. Okay, sorry about that. They knew that they weren't gonna be able to take care of themselves. And so I think that there should be some rationale, some type of responsibility, some type of, hey, look, you put yourself in this position, I'm not gonna bail you out, I'm not gonna pay for it. But then bail you out is like this whole big problem, right? Like, our government is in bed with major corporations, and so we bail them out, but it didn't trickle down, right? Like, so many people are still getting kicked out of their houses now because they can't pay their mortgage, even though the bank has been given freely however many millions of dollars, right? Like, so here's the problem, right? And then I was gonna go on and I was gonna say, how dare our government try to limit guns when we've damn sold guns to every nation in the world, and nations that no longer suit our political agenda become our enemies, and then they're shooting at us with guns that we've sold them, and ammunition that we sold them, and planes that we've sold them, and all sorts of Iran-Contra affair. It just, like the Bible teaches us, nothing new is under the sun. And governments have always been corrupt, and they will always be corrupt. Now, I'm not to say that every individual in the government is a corrupt individual. And this rant is not even really just to go at the government, although it's a big picture of a problem. I want to, like, centralize it, right? Because I was going to talk about Bob Costas, and then Connecticut happens, and then everybody's speechless, or everybody should have been speechless. And like, I was working out when I got the text message from some little source or whatever, some little, like, news broadcast, you know, and I couldn't really wrap my mind around it. I tried to push through my workout, and I couldn't. I had to damn stop and just, I changed what music I was listening to, and I sat there and meditate and pray for all these folks. And then I wonder, what's our nation, what's our world coming to? How are these people getting by? Christmas is coming up for them, and just all these prayers going out to folks. And with the responsibility being put on guns, it just shows you how short-sighted and weak and irresponsible our society has accepted itself as, and is promoting itself in that light. And it's atrocious. Like, so what Bob Costas kind of started the fire at, and what Connecticut turned into like a roaring blaze for me personally, is that I'm no longer gonna be so permissive, in a sense, like maybe not permission, but like a passive. I'm not gonna sit back so idly when I hear people say stupid things, or if I get in a conversation with somebody and they, it's not to say that I don't want to remain humble and listen and learn from other people. I still have a lot to do, a lot of learning to do. But certain things that I feel real strong about, and through research and study and my own personal experiences, I'm just not going to let people flippantly be dumb. I'm going to correct you, and I'm going to call you out, and I'm going to love you, but if you say something stupid, I'm going to hate that, and I'm going to try to squash that, you know? At least I'm going to try to love you, right? As I'm calling you a dumb motherfucker or whatever, you know what I mean? Like I said, I have a lot to learn, but our nation has become, a lot of people in our nation have become so short-sighted that we blame inanimate objects for horrible human actions. And I just want that to be known. Like, I just want it to be said. I want that to, hey, look, this is what happened, and it's not a gun's fault. Like, if you believe that the Navy SEALs went and they got Osama bin Laden, and then they dumped him in the ocean, right? Back to my conspiracy theory shit, because a lot of people believe that his ass got dumped in an ocean. Cool, and like, but that's not the point of what I'm saying. Everybody said the Navy SEALs went and got him. Nobody said a bunch of helicopters and guns went and got Osama bin Laden. Nobody said that. It was people that did these things. Now, just because they had like the perspective of the Navy SEALs did something positive, now it's the Navy SEALs that are doing it. But if something negative happened, now a gun did this. And if you want to talk about like gun legislation and more gun control, I'm very comfortable with debating and considering the topic that, hey, look, man, people with certain mental conditions, while we need to pray for them, and that whole arena of people that love them greatly, and the spiral of conditions that they get caught in because it's an institutionalized program, and then too many drugs are pushed at them and hardly any prayer. From my perspective, that's important. I'm very comfortable with people that are battling those demons. I'm very comfortable with them not being allowed guns, right? But so much like that's not what I'm really thinking is happening out here the vast majority of the time. I think that people do have mental conditions, but I think their mental condition is lack of foresight, lack of compassion, lack of love, lack of intelligence, tempers, all of that. But the way that these people turn into individuals with all those characteristics is people don't show them love. They don't show them compassion. They do not teach them. They don't expect them to be mature. And that's our responsibility. That's my responsibility. So that's why I've made the conscious decision to, when I hear somebody say something stupid, it is my choice to correct them. And then, like, I don't feel like it's an arrogant thing to say I'm correcting somebody, because sometimes I'm right. And also I know that I too have been corrected because I've been wrong at times. And there's nothing wrong with absolute rights and absolute wrongs. Some motherfuckers out there is dumb as shit, and they need somebody to tell them, hey bruh, like, that's dumb. You check yourself. Let me show you another way. So as my prayers go out to Kassandra Perkins and her family, and her daughter, and Javon Belcher's family, the guy that murdered her and then killed himself, that played for the Kansas City Chiefs, as my prayers go out to their families and loved ones and friends, and obviously the whole nation's prayers are going out to Connecticut, and rightly so. As a Christian, right, one that is trying to aspire to be Christ-like, because to say a Christian's a big thing, I guess it's my duty, right? Like, I can't always do what I want to do as somebody that's trying to follow Jesus, and so my job is to also pray for the people that I don't agree with, pray that I have a humble heart and I can be taught, but then also, like, I'm calling gun control a Christian issue, but any type of understanding will see that I don't see gun control and Christianity so interlocked as I do accountability and responsibility to others to love them. Is maybe soft, or as corny as that sounds, love is a strong ass thing, and there's nothing soft or corny about it. And I wouldn't tell somebody they're wrong unless I loved, right? And by me saying that I think that we should all be able to carry pistols, I don't want anybody to get out there and say, you know, have these notions in their mind and like, oh, he doesn't care about life because you're just thinking wrong. I carry a pistol because I care very much about life. I carry because I care about me and what happens to me. And I wish that I could have witnesses here, because many times, you know, when other people have been uncomfortable with, if they find out I have a pistol on me or something like that, and they get all, I don't know, a bit arrogant and stupid, and they're like, well, why do you have a gun on you? I get to tell them, God forbid anything happens right here, I'll be able to protect myself and the people that's in my circle that, you know what I'm saying, that fall into that category. And I'm sincere, I'm dead ass when I say it. Like, that's the business, right? Because tragedies do happen, right? And it's a very logical, if we can just get over the stereotype or the scare factor of guns, assuming what if the elementary school, what if there were armed teachers there? What if instead of this is a pistol-free zone, or whatever they call it, right? Like, you can't bring guns, any weapons, anything like that. Like, they proudly said, like, none of that stuff is allowed in here. Well, to a shark, that just looks like blood that I want to go swim to. But what if instead of, there was a big sign that said, hey, no weapons are allowed here? What if there was a sign that said, everybody here is armed and knows how to use them? Let's just get over the scare factor of guns, and let's start to call one another out to be responsible, and then we will act responsible. And then if we don't, we can at least say, hey, you had the option to be responsible. Because it pains me to damn bring up, but I'd bet damn near anything on it that each one of those parents that is now having to suffer so far past what I can imagine, I bet they wish that there was somebody there at that school that was armed. They could have diverted that whole horrific thing. Same thing in the movie theater in Colorado. So this is just a perspective. A line in the sand has been drawn, and thank y'all for listening. I know it's been a minute since I posted. I appreciate the patience. Thank you for the people that sent inboxes or however you got a hold of me to let me know that you're looking forward to my next video. Thank you so much. And I don't know, post, comment, subscribe, share. Let's get this word out. And if you don't dig what I say, let me know. A while back, my first video, side note, I said if you dislike a comment, I'm cool with that. At least let me know why. And then I made this Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving everybody comment to everybody, and somebody disliked it. To you for not paying attention to the rules that I set up, kiss my ass. And if you don't like this one, I understand that, because I just told you to kiss my ass. So at least say, I don't like this, I dislike this video because you told me to kiss your ass. Alright, look, because I'm talking about a serious subject doesn't mean I'm always a serious dude, and I may even put in a stupid outtake of me jamming out to some music just because this is a serious subject and maybe we need a comic relief or something like that. Alright, take it easy. Peace. This is purely for comic relief, and y'all have already hung in there 20 minutes. If anybody watches shit 20 minutes, I should send out a damn gift prize or something. I'm pretty good.
Electric break. I hope tomorrow neon black. I tell a nigga all those flows are borrowed. It's the far.
What's this say? What song is this though? Might be dating myself a little bit. Wake up, wake up, wake up, let's wake up, get up, get up, get up, wake up, wake up, wake up, let's wake up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, let's wake up, get up, get up. Ain't no way y'all still watching. Listen to this verse. Don't y'all realize that the end is so near? Don't you have still got time? I hope you want to come by the end of the rhyme. Let me explain so you won't pretend you didn't know. And you can make sure that this is where you want to go. It's all about preparing yourself for the return. And the trip to the soul is the only way you'll learn. But if you choose not to go, that ain't my concern. I guess in hell you just have to burn.
tell lies and try to trick those souls to receive it.
They try to tell you, Lord ain't coming back, and you believe it.
Regardless if you listen to me.
In the end, we'll see. Alright, y'all be good. That's perfect. That's a perfect way to end it.